Hi everybody, it's day 2 with the Spyder. So where we left off last time was that the car starts now. I got the throttle linkage all sorted, but it just wasn't really running well. So I tried a few things after last episode. I went ahead and cleaned all the jets on the carburetors. It's really kind of a dumb task. You just pull them out, blow some carburetor cleaner through them and some compressed air. Simple enough. Didn't seem to make any difference at all. So then what I wanted to do was pull the spark plugs. So I have some footage of that for you. I pulled the spark plugs and you can see that one of them was pretty bad. I think it was number 2, was really dark and fuzzy. And there was another one on the other side that wasn't good as well. So this engine's a little strange because it's in backwards. So the 1 and 2 is actually on this left side of the car, the driver's side. Any rate, it tells me that either we're not getting enough ignition on one of these cylinders or we're not getting enough carburation, fuel into it, something. So the carburetor smells fine. I don't smell a bunch of that, yucky, varnishy gas in there at all. I smell the tank. Tank smells good too. So and then when I pulled the jets, they were all nice and clean. There wasn't any fuss in those things either. I did reset the air bypass screws on the bottom down here on the carburetor, just down here. I did set them back to the factory spec. So they were at 9 1/2 turns, so 4.5 total turns. And the spec said that you should probably start at 3. That's fine. The spec also said that the car should start and when it's cold, dead cold, and take about 30 seconds before it'll idle on its own. And it's not doing that at all. I went through like 2 minutes and the thing just would not idle and just pop, and then dies. Even if you try to keep the idle, I can't get it to run constantly or consistently, the consistent RPM. It's all over the place and you're constantly having to feather the gas to get it to go. And that's not right. It shouldn't do that at all. Before I go ahead and pull that carburetor, I thought it might be helpful to actually give you an idea of what I'm looking for, what it should sound like. So I'm in the 356 here, same sort of basic flat 4 engine. It's a Porsche engine, but it's flat 4, air-cooled with dual carburetors, and neither of the carburetors have chokes. So same thing with the Dellortos over here on the Spyder. They don't have chokes either. Okay, so this is really what I'm expecting to see. I'll pull the camera so you can see the rev counter and you can see what I'm looking for. Okay, you'll see it it won't idle down super low. And hear that snapping? That's from the carburetor being cold. But if I kick it up to there, about a little shy of 1500 RPM, hear how smooth it is? And then on this car, there's a throttle hold. So you can pull this out, turn it off, and it should be able to basically maintain idle with that throttle hold out. So hear that? See how nice and smooth that is? And we're idling pretty low, about 800, 700 RPM. Nice and smooth. And the engine is dead cold, so you can see that up there. But hear how smooth it is? I expect no less from the Spyder with those Dellortos on it. So I ran the engine a little bit more. I wanted to show you another tool you can use. This is just a digital thermometer that you can point at things. It's kind of cool. There's a little red LED on it so you can see exactly what it's looking at. So let's go ahead and look at the exhaust of all 4 cylinders. They should basically be the same temperature, really. Number 3 is usually a little bit warmer than the others, but it should be pretty close. And that can also give us an indication as to which cylinder is definitely not firing. Number 1 is showing 123 degrees right there at the flange. Number 2, so to point it in the right spot, there we go. And what's saying? 193. So holy cow, that's a big difference. Cylinder number 3 here, there it is. Okay, let's see, can we see that? 165, 167, 168. See if I can grab it. Where's the LED? There it is. Okay, so this one's 133. So this side is pretty consistent with each other. 130, a little bit hotter on number 3, which we sort of expect. 140. But the other side is a mystery. Well, that's kind of interesting, actually. I would have expected to see one or two of the cylinders much cooler than the others. But I'm actually seeing 3 cylinders about the same and one of them very hot. It kind of almost makes sense the way this thing sounds like it's running, and it keeps varying its speed. Even if you keep the pedal in exactly the same spot, the thing goes up and down and up and down. So, all right. Well, I don't think we have a choice. We're going to have to pull the carburetors and take a look. I've never worked on a Dellorto carburetor before, so I have a manual for it. Mike brought this over, which is going to be super helpful. There's also an exploded view here from the parts thing, which is going to be awesome. That'll be great, just in case I lose my way. I'm obviously filming this, so that's going to be helpful too. If you're ever in this situation, just go ahead and use your little point and shoot and take pictures along the way. That makes it super helpful to put things back together. You're like, where does that thing go? So, all right, so what I want to do here is I want to disassemble this a bit and see if we can find some type of smoking gun in here. Looks like it's been apart a few times. It looks like these cheese head screws are a little bit all wonky and buckered a little bit. That's okay. We've got our jets. Now, these are the high-speed jets, and then down in here are the 2 low-speed jets. I already went through those yesterday, so I know they're clean at least. But since this particular side of the car had a very hot side, which was on the left, this one, and a very cold side on the right, I'm thinking there might be something wrong with this one, and if it's wrong with this one, it's probably wrong with the other 2. That's my guess. Because I've got 1 hot and 3 cold, that just seems really weird to me. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Well, our carburetor's all back together, completely cleaned, hopefully. And we look at our parts tray here, and all we have are our 2 return springs, which is great. So we got all our bits back in. The other rubber gasket that goes over the top here, that the velocity stacks and the whole bit mounts to the top of this. I think this is okay. It may not be super duper pretty, but it looks good. I think it'll be fine. Okay, well, all right, next step will be to put it back on the car. All right, carburetor all clean and reinstalled. We have our fire extinguisher at the ready, of course. Now, what I'm gonna do is just turn on the fuel pump. It should fill the carburetor float bowls up with gas. I just wanna make sure that it's gonna hold pressure and it's not going to spew gas everywhere before we even try to start the car. So here we go. Pretty simple. All right, there we go. It's pretty good. I don't see any fuel links here. Anyway, let's see how it goes. All right. side's a mess. Let me try adjusting these guys on the other side. I think these got these close at least. So let's check our temperatures now that the engine's actually sort of running. I don't know. I think this carburetor is finally running pretty well. I was able to get it to adjust. I could tell when I was running these things in and out that something was definitely happening. But number 2 is still running about 100 degrees hotter than all the other cylinders, all 3 others. They're all somewhere around 230, 240-ish. This one's like 330, 340-ish. That seems kind of strange to me. That carburetor over there didn't seem to make any difference at all when I was running these things in and out. So you know what? I think we should pull that carburetor because it seems like maybe we made a difference on this one. It's running a little bit better. So, all right, well, let me get to that. Well, I've got the right-hand carburetor all completely cleaned, put back together, and reinstalled. I've already checked for fuel leaks, and everything is all dry. But at this point, I just want to start the car and see if we've made any progress at all. I'm still really interested in why number 2 is 100 degrees hotter than the other 3. Yeah, it just seems really weird to me. So that might be a separate issue. But at least I want to sign off on the carburetors and make sure they're okay. So we should be able to get it to run, and it should basically idle. It'll probably take a bit to warm up, but it should basically run. Okay, here we go. Here goes the fuel pump again. All right, wish me luck. I think the right carburetor is very much out of adjustment too. That sounds a little better, a little smoother. Sounds like at least we have all 4 together. They're not all putting out the same, but at least they're all running. All right, let's see if we can get to the other side. Well, it's basically idling. I mean, it's idling on its own. And I was able to affect a difference from the other side, which is good. And it does get a little giddy up right off the bat, so that's good too. Woof. Woof, woof, woof. Well, it is technically running, I suppose, and it is technically idling, but boy, does it sound rough. I mean, I can understand a high lift cam on it being a little low be at idle, but it just feels like there's a cylinder that's pissed off. My guess is it's number 2. So I don't know exactly why that would be. I think next maybe I want to let the engine completely cool down, and in the next day or 2 I'll go ahead and check the valves. I seriously wonder if maybe the valves are completely out or something for this cylinder number 2. Remember, that was our super fuzzy spark plug, and it's also running super duper hot. So that means it's been running rich, and maybe the valves aren't closing all the way. I don't know. Maybe we had a valve that isn't closing all the way. I don't know. Anyway, Well, I hope you like the second installment of this little series on this little Beck Spyder, trying to get this thing going again. So if you did, please give a thumbs up. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down below. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks so much. Bye.